Hare Krishna. All right. So let me. So all of you can repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
All right. So we'll start now. Last week we had discussed about very important topic. You would have, every one of us had interacted with this sloka in Bhagavad Gita. We kind of studied in our textbook, Karmane Adhikaraste Ma Phales Kadachana Ma Karma Phalabhutesu Ma Te Sango Akarmani. And then next is sloka. We had about Yogastha Kuru Karmani Sangam Tyaktva Dhananjaya Siddha Siddhayo Samo Bhutva Samatvam Yogachyate. That perform your duty equipoise, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success, equanimity, yoga. Can you hear me? Okay. So that was the discussion. We had a lot of discussion around how should we, why should we offer our results to Krishna, and what is the technique. So we discussed all that. So let's move on. We are going to continue from 249 today. Okay. So the way we do, especially for the Veer, all of us read one sloka. So all of you will read one sloka, and then we have little discussion at every sloka. Okay.
Prabhuji, we had to do 2.48, no, today?
No, 2.48 we finished it. Yeah. We finished.
Okay.
Varnashram institution, we were talking about that.
Okay.
And what is real yoga and all. So we go next one. Okay. So let's start. Dure hai avaram karma.
Dure har karma.
Buddhi yoga dhananjaya.
Buddhi yoga sanjaya.
Buddhe saranam anviksha.
Buddhe saranam anviksha.
Kripana falhetavaha.
Kripana falhetavaha.
Okay. So I'll read translation and purport. And then if there is anything to discuss, we'll discuss. Otherwise, we'll go to the next sloka. So translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ke dwara, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Dhananjay, keep all abominable activities for distant by devotion service. And in that consciousness, surrender. Okay, I would request everyone to mute. When you have to speak, you can unmute, because so that my voice goes to everyone. Otherwise, a lot of people cannot hear it. Okay. So you can keep your camera on, keep yourself muted. It's nice because we have 5 people. It's nice to be interactive. But once we talk, we open the mic. So, O Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotion service. And in that consciousness, surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruit of their work are misers. Purport. One who has actually come to understand one's constitutional position as an eternal servitor of the Lord gives up all engagement save working in Krishna consciousness. As already explained, Buddhi Yoga means transcendental loving service to the Lord. Such devotion service is the right course of action for living entity. Only misers desire to enjoy the fruits of their own work, just to be further entangled in material bondage. Except for work in Krishna consciousness, all activities are abominable because they continually bind the worker to the cycle of birth and death. One should therefore never desire to be the cause of the work. Everything should be done in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of Krishna. Misers do not know how to utilize the asset of riches which they have acquired by good fortune or by hard labor. One should spend all energies working in Krishna consciousness, and that will make one's life successful. Like misers, unfortunate persons do not employ their human energy in the service of the Lord. So the main important point coming here that after Arjuna said, no, Krishna said two sloka. We'll go back a little bit so that you get context. Especially the beer is joining here first time. So Krishna is saying you have right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruit of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the result of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. So which means that you have to just work as a matter of duty. You cannot expect any result. You cannot be all doer. You just do with enthusiasm. You can't be lazy as well, because we had a lot of discussion. So if you, for a beer, if you want to look at it, then you can go to YouTube channel. We have recordings, so you can see. I don't want to take everyone's time today, but we had a whole 1 hour discussion on that sloka, because it's very important to clarify how can we work without being a doer and without expecting result, and also not being lazy to not do, because people get lazy if they think, oh, there is nothing for me, I'm not the doer, I don't get a result, then why I should work, right?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can't hear you.
Else, any other people, can you hear me? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We are audible. I mean, yes, we are audible.
Okay, you can hear. Perfect. Thank you. No problem. Now, Mataji, can you hear me now, Hetal Mataji?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Maybe my internet was bit disturbing.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So I was saying, then we discussed that Krishna says that perform your duty equipoise without attachment to success or failure. That is called yoga. Now, this is sloka Krishna is saying, you have to select your what you want to do. So he says, keep all abominable activities for a distant. But the question is, how do I know what is abominable activity, right? Because we do so many things in life, but then how do I know what is good, what is bad to do, right? So then he says, by devotional service, right? So now for that, I have to understand what is devotional service, because if I want to know, if I want to do my activities who are not abominable, then I should know what is devotional service. And Krishna is asking in that consciousness, he's not asking body, he's saying consciousness. In that mindset, surrender on to the Lord. So basically, we have to change our consciousness. We don't have to change our position or anything. We have to just change our mindset. With mindset, we work, right? Everybody has a mindset we work with. So that's what Krishna is asking. And how do you develop that mindset? You need to understand devotional service. And then he says, those who enjoy the fruit of their works are misers. Why does he say that? Suppose if you are doing a job, you get money, and you want to enjoy, go to the hotel, go. Okay, sorry. Give me a moment. Can you hear me now? Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, yes, yes.
Hare Krishna.
Moment. Give me a moment. Okay. What happens in the daytime? Gaurangi comes and then just changes my whole setup. Okay. So that's how it happened when you have a 3-year-old kid. And they just break everything what you set up. But anyways, that's the nature of the world. So why does Krishna say that you are a miser? Right? It's important to know why if I'm enjoying my life, why am I a miser? So anybody wants to guess? How can I be miser if I'm just enjoying my life with my work?
Because you're expecting the fruits of it.
No, but we should respect the fruit, right? What other people think. What do you think, Ramchandra, Nagrani Mataji? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. What do you think?
I don't know what to say.
Oh, you have to say something, of course. I mean, look, if we are in the class, we should pay attention and getting, engaging a little bit. Otherwise, what is the point, right? Because
Yes,
it's
yes,
listen
Prabhuji.
recording, right? It's why
Yeah.
early morning check-in. So question is, I'll repeat, Beer just joined now. Question is, if I'm enjoying my life, with my work, I get my money, I want to enjoy the results, why am I a miser? Okay, let me help you.
Yeah.
Let me help you. Suppose if you are a billionaire's daughter, okay, Nagrani Mataji, if your
Yes.
father is billionaire
Yes, Prabhuji.
but you don't know your father is billionaire.
Okay.
So somehow you have lost your relationship with your father. You kind of gave up. Like a lot of people became, they disown their parents. Like they don't want to live with them. They don't want to have any relationship, especially in the United States or in Europe.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
And then you're lost. You're like suffering on the street because you don't know. Like you're just struggling for day and night. But somebody meets you and says, "Hey, Nagrani, do you know your father is billionaire?" Like, I don't know. Who is, first of all, I don't know who is my father. And second, how do I
Okay.
know who is, how can I even imagine, right?
Yes.
So the idea is just because you didn't knew who is your father and what is his position, you were acting on a platform like a miser, like you didn't knew how much you can do, how much you own, right? Because even if you have, it's like, the conjuice, the people who are miser, even if they have millions of, crores of rupees, they will not spend 10 rupees for anything. This is called misers. You will meet a lot of, big state. They will have a lot of money, but they will go to the thela and eat the cheapest thing. Like they don't want to spend the money. They just want to earn the money, right? So the
Yes, Prabhuji.
Krishna, coming to the Krishna, what Krishna is saying here, that this human form of life, all of us, we have this human body. It is very precious. Why? Because after 8,400,000 species of life, after evolutions from bacteria to plant to whatever, you reach to this platform of human form where you can inquire, you can sit in Bhagavad Gita class, you can judge, you can discuss, you can debate. The dogs cannot debate. You offer them daily same food, they will eat happy, right? But a human baby, you cannot feed same thing even twice a day. They will get, now I don't want to eat this. So this brain we have is very powerful, and this human form of body is very, very invaluable. Now we are doing, as I discussed in your earlier classes, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Like we eat, we sleep, we have sex, and then we defend because we want to have a security, insurance, protection, right?
Yes.
But we cannot do properly. Animals do better than that. right? Like they can eat without fear. I'm eating with fear because, oh, I have to run my office. I have to go in my, what happens tomorrow? And sleeping, oh, so hard. We don't get even sleep. Late night sleeping, early morning getting up, right? The dogs sleep better. The cats sleep better. And then having sex life, they are better than us because they can produce at one time 10 kids. And we cannot have even two or one. One is hard because, people going for IVF. And then defense, they can fight and relax more better than us because we are, even after taking all the insurance, we are feared what will happen in future. You can, you don't know. So, but this be so which means that this where we are placing purpose in our life is misplaced. Is something is missing because otherwise, if I'm so valuable, I have so much power, why I'm not able to realize it? Why I'm not able to cash it, right? And then Krishna is saying it is because you don't know how much you have, right? And what you
Many.
can do with this human body. And that's why he's telling Arjuna, you are a miser because you have so much power. You are a biggest warrior in the planet, and you are saying, I will die in battlefield without defending. I'm gonna die now. You let them kill me. I'm not gonna fight. So if you have something but you don't exercise it, then you are a miser. Simple is it, right? Like suppose if I have one crores, but I don't spend even 100 rupees. So what do you call me? What is this nonsense person? He's dying hungry, but not eating, not spending 100 rupees, 1,000 rupees, right? Thinking 10 times what to do with that. So that's so miser for now, and we'll continue next sloka. Okay, let's go. Who wants to read this one?
I will read.
Yes, Manthi, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Buddhi yukta, buddhi yukto jahanti ha abhe sutra dashkate tasmad yogyas yava yogaha karmasu kausalam. A man engaged in devotional service rids himself in both good and bad reactions, even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is an art of work, purport. Since the immemorial, each living entity has accumulated various reactions of his good and bad work. As such, he is continuously ignorant of his real constitutional position. One's ignorance can be removed by instruction of the Bhagavad Gita, which teaches one to surrender unto Lord Krishna in all aspects and become liberated from the chained victimization of action and reaction, birth after birth. Arjuna is therefore advised to act in Krishna consciousness to purify the process of resultant action. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So briefly, not much I'm going to discuss here because the next chapter is chapter 3, and that's a karma yoga. So a lot of questions in your mind which are like, what is karma? How does it act? What is the chain of karmic reactions, right? Will be clarified in that chapter. So I'm not going into detail. For now, you should know. So just a basic example I always give. Suppose, Hare Krishna, Ankita Mataji, welcome. So if suppose Beer, Beer is a military person. He is fighting on in a war, or suppose he is posted in Kargil or a Pakistan border. Okay, and now if Veer kills a person or a terrorist trying to cross the border, the Veer will be getting an award. He's killing a person who is trying to cross border illegally, and he's killing, and he's getting award, right? Veer, are you hearing me?
Yes, sure.
Yes. So you get award. But if you, same person, suppose if in the same uniform with the same gun, you see military people also come their home, right? And they travel to in a bus or in a train as a public life. If they even kill a dog or even if they just harm a person, they will be put into jail. Same thing. Same person with the same thing acts differently will be punished. But the same person acting on a border as a military person will be awarded reward. Why? So what do you think, Beer?
He's doing his duty. His
Okay.
resp- And
So
he's protecting the country from
yes,
illegal
yeah,
acts.
that is correct. Yes. What else? Beer, what do you think?
Oh, he loves to do that, so he's doing that.
No, not love. Like military people don't love their job. Let me tell you. If you talk to any military people, they hate it. Like they are on the border and they are away from family. They're just at some point they start hating it. In the beginning, when the body is new and they're kind of excited. But I know a lot of people they want to be posted inside. Nobody likes border because any bullet can shoot at any moment. Just I know a lot of people who there. Yes. So Mataji, Nagrani Mataji said it's duty. Yes. But why they don't suffer the reactions? Like they did something, got awarded. Other thing, same thing they did inside in a social. They were punished. Why? Because they are breaking the rules. So likewise, nowadays things that nobody wants to follow the rule. But if you follow the rule, you become free from both the reactions. Right? It's very nice illustration that if the military person follow the rule, they are free. The moment you break the rule, you are punished. You're bound. It's like thief. The thief is thievery, they get punished. They are bound by those, fear, constant fear, even if nobody is watching. They know that, oh, if somebody comes to know I'm a thief, what will happen? What will happen? What will happen? Right? So, following the regulations, we get free. Like if you're driving on a highway and if you're under speed limit, following your lanes, you feel free. But if you try to drive zigzag, you know who's gonna hit you at any moment. You really don't know, and then you get fined. Police will take you side. Okay, let's come here. Let's talk. Let's get some money exchange, right? So in India, in US, they will just put you down. There is nothing to talk. They just okay, stop it. So that's how it works. So therefore, Krishna is advising Arjuna, just do your duty as a matter of duty as a Kshatriya. Don't give up. Okay. Let's go next one. 51. Who wants to read this one? I can help you with Sanskrit and you can read just translation and purport. Okay.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Madhu? Okay. Thank you, Madhu.
Yeah. Karma.
So,
Yeah. You please help me in the Sanskrit.
okay, so all of you can repeat when I say first time. Karmajam buddhi yukta hi.
Karmajam buddhi
कर्मजां बुद्धियुक्ता हि
Phalam tyaktva manishina.
फलं
Palam
त्यक्त्वा मनीषिणा
Janma bandha vinirmukta.
जन्मबन्धविनिर्मुक्ता
Padam gacchyanti anamayam.
पदं गच्छन्त्यनमम्.
By thus
Yes.
engaging in a devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond the mysterious by going back to Godhead. The liberated living entities belong to that place where there are no material miseries. The Bhagavatam says.
I can read this for you.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
please.
everybody can repeat after me if you can. Samsritaye padmapalapalam.
संस्कृताये पदापलावं फलम्
Mahatpadam punyayaso murare.
महत्पदं पुण्यो यशो मुरारे
Pavam budhirvatsa padam param padam.
भावं बुधिर्वस्त्रपदं परं पदम्
Padam padam yad vipadam na tesham.
पदं पदं यद् विपदं न तेषाम्
A lot of word padam padam, right? Let's see what is the meaning. Read. You can read, Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Uh, for one who has accepted the boat of the lotus feel of the God, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation and is famous as Mukunda or the giver of Mukti. The ocean of the material world is like the water contained in the calf footprint. Param Padam, or the place where there are no material miseries, or Vaikunta is his goal, not the place where there is a danger in every step of life. Owing the ignorance, one does not know that this material world is a measurable place where there are dangerous at every step. Out of ignorance only, less intelligent persons try to adjust to the situation by fruitive actions, thinking that the resultant actions will make them happy. They do not know that no kind of material body anywhere within the universe can give life without miseries. The miseries of life, namely birth, death, old age, and diseases, are present everywhere within the material world. But one who understands this real constitutional position as the eternal server of the Lord and thus knows the position of the personality of Godhead, engages himself in the transcendental living service of the Lord. Consequently, he become qualified to enter into the Vimukta Vaikunta planets where there is neither material miserable life nor influence of time and death. To know one constitutional position means to know also the sublime position of the Lord. One who wrongly thinks that the living entity's position and the Lord positions are on the same level is to be understood to be in darkness and therefore unable to engage himself in the devotional service of the Lord. He become Lord himself and thus post the way for the repetition of birth and death. But one who understanding that his position is to serve transfers himself to the service of the Lord. At once become eligible of Vaikuntha Loka. Service for the cause of the Lord is called Karma Yoga and Buddhi Yoga, or in the plain words, devotional service to the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, let's read again the translation. By thus engaging devotional service to the Lord, great sage or devotees free themselves from the result of the work in material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain a state beyond all miseries. Going back, Hare Krishna. So, very important thing to just understand. This is another concept you're going to learn now. It is often said there are four kind of. First of all, how do you define a problem in life? Let's define the problem. How do you define that something is a problem? Okay. Think about it. How do you define that this is a problem? What is the definition of a problem? Okay. Who wants to go? Veer, you want to say?
Unconditioned desire.
No.
Which gives sadness to us.
A lot of things. Yeah. Sadness. That's a result. But I'm asking, like,
Then an uncontrolled
I'm
situation.
asking a universal definition. Something sadness to you may be happiness for our next person. Right? Yes. Madhu?
The
You're saying
situations we could not able to control, or the situations we are unable
yes,
to
you are
handle.
close. You are close. Control word. That things are not in our control. That is close. Okay, Veer, you're saying something?
The things which are not working according to us is a problem.
Yes, you are most close. More closer than Madhu. Yes. Okay. Anybody else wants to guess or just share your thought? Okay. Yes. So Madhu and Veer were very close. Nagrani Mataji, we are talking about effect of it, like the problems. So here is the definition of problem. You can share with other people also. It's very universal. Problem is one which is a thing or situation or anything in the world which nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. You ask anyone, they will not want it. But everybody gets it. That is a real problem. Like nobody wants it, but everybody get it. That is a real definition of a problem, right? Because something may be problem for you, but next moment same thing is good for you. So how can it be a problem, right? Like suppose if you are fully fed up, if I try to feed you more, you think, oh, this is a problem. But after 5 hours, you can start eating same thing again. So that's not a problem, right? But definition is nobody wants it, but everybody gets it. That's a problem. That's a real problem, right? For example, let me tell you, disease. Is anybody wants that disease? This world, but everybody gets it, right? There is no one in the world, in any living entity, not just humans, even the animals, they get disease when they have their own defense. Even bacteria, when attacked, they make antibiotics to survive in worse adverse situations. What is disease? Disease is misfunction of this body, right? When the body doesn't function the way it should be, you call it a state called disease, right? Very universally, you can say anything when doesn't work the way it should be called. Now, that's the real problem. Disease is a real problem. Nobody wants it, everybody gets it. Now, second one, old age. Who wants to get old? I don't think so. I mean, this whole cosmetic industry and the whole research, aging research, whole healthcare system is trying to prevent or cure a disease or trying to protect people live healthy and don't get aged, right? What everyone thinks. The second problem, real problem in life, getting old. Nobody wants it, but everybody gets old. Doesn't matter whether you are a animal or president or a prime minister, you billionaire, millionaire, you will get old, right? Here's the third biggest problem. The worst, death. Nobody wants to die, but everybody has to die, right? Nobody wants the death, but everybody gets it, right? Third biggest problem. And we are thinking about it. The whole tension in anxiety in our life because of this. We don't want to get disease. We don't want to get old. We are fear, oh, I'm getting old. What will happen to my finance? How much money I have saved? What will happen to my kids? How I will survive? My kids will run away. What I will do alone? I'm getting old. My body doesn't work the way I want. So, disease, avoiding disease, getting old, no one. At the end, the biggest fear is people who are on the deathbed. You talk to them, they will tell death is a real problem in my life. Right? Now, the fourth one, You read the fourth one. This is the fourth problem, universal problem, birth. But now question is, how can birth could be a problem? But you ask a kid, if you are a biology student, if you have understood physiology, the 9 month in the womb is like, it's like a bag. The way they survive in the 9 month in the womb is terrible. The kid's life is not very healthy. Okay. And when they take a birth, they are pushed through a narrow hole from the mother's womb. It's like, if I pass you right now, you will die. If I take you through that constructed like hole, babies come out from the body of a mother, we will die immediately. We will not survive that suffocation. And when they take birth, 9 month, all kind of worms eat them. The body is bitten by the worms, the bacteria, so many things in there. The suffocation. The babies move in the womb because they have suffocation. They are going through so much. They are eating through a tube supplied by the mother body, right? 9 month, you can't survive for a minute. If I put you for a minute in that situation, we will die immediately. But by God's arrangement, they survive in that womb, right? But they are going through pain. You should study how the birth happened. Then you will realize, oh, birth is painful. And then when they are born, they are just lying on a bed and then just taking milk whenever they want. They cannot express what till certain years what they want in life. They don't have a language. They cannot say. Their mind is wandering, right? And the end, the birth is another problem, because with the birth, all these three problems continue. You get birth, you get disease, you get old, and then you die. How painful it is. Now think for a moment. Everyone think for a moment. If God comes and tells you, Madhu, now you are out of the time. Like, you don't have to worry about time. You are eternal. Okay, you have a PhD degree. Now you can stay PhD eternally. You can stay in a job eternally. You can have your family eternally. Everything is eternal. Isn't that's what we are aspiring for? All of us is trying to maintain our life. We don't want to get old, because if I get old, I will lose everything. If I die, I will lose everything. Because after death, whether you are prime minister, president, billionaire, millionaire, nothing matters. Because then your own family member will throw your body out of the house immediately. In next 24 hours, you are kicked off. They will strip all the jewelry from your body. Nobody cares who you wear, right? They will burn you. You are done. That's it. That's a value. Okay. And chemically, your price is 120, 150 rupees. Okay. So because the birth begins these three problems, therefore birth is also a problem. And if you continue this chain, we work so much to build our house, family, education, position, power, influence. But within 40, 50 years, 60 years, everything finished. And now I have to start from zero. I take again birth, again as a kid, go to school, learn things, build it, again khatam. Again finish, again do it. What if everything is fixed, eternal? Fine, right? So, the Vedic knowledge, Bhagavad Gita explains that. And if we have a faith, then we practice it. If we don't have faith, no problem. You can impose your faith, so many things in the world, right? And suffer through disease, old age, death, birth, disease, old age, death, birth, disease, old age, birth, death, right? Who knows? Right now, human, tomorrow is dog, right? Do you know one astrologer predicted when the Nehru died? Nehru loved the suffered dog. He loved the dog. Prime Minister Nehru, okay, our Prime Minister, first one. Astrologer predicted that right now, after his death, he took birth in, where? Sweat in what do you call this? Warsaw. It's in Netherlands, I think, somewhere. And he took birth as a dog in a embassy's officer's house. Right now, he's a dog because he was so much attached to the dog. Because the formula, as per Bhagavad Gita, whatever consciousness we have at the time of death, we get the next body in the same consciousness. Whatever attachment you have at the time of death, the strongest one, because that time of death, our brain doesn't work. almost we are just on the auto mode, okay, autopilot mode, because our body doesn't work, our voice chokes, eyes closed. Now our brain is functioning, and the whole life, whatever cultivation, whatever nature I built, it will be prominent, and then nature awards immediately next body. Okay, no concession. All right. So that's a formula you will learn in Bhagavad Gita. It is a powerful science. That's why I say Bhagavad Gita one should learn very carefully. You should learn every word by word, and scrutinizingly study it, because that will change your life, right? The way you think about life, the way you think about problems, the way. So now you learn what is a problem. Nobody wants it. Everybody gets it. What is a real problem? Disease, old age, death, and birth. Okay, everyone is clear? Anybody has any questions so far or comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Here you're saying about problems. But what is the meaning of this shloka? I did not understand.
Okay. So the meaning of sloka was that, I'll read again. Great sages and devotees free themselves from result of work in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond miseries. Right? So I was explaining this cycle of birth and death is a misery. And how you get free of themselves, free of this cycle, is by engaging in devotional service to the Lord. What is devotional service to the Lord? Act as the Krishna is asking to act. In this case, Krishna is asking Arjuna to fight as a matter of duty, and he's asking him, you don't worry, you were saying that you will suffer through sins, you will commit mistakes, you will do all nonsense. No, you do as a duty, you'll be free of any sinful reactions. You don't have to worry. And you will be free from this material bondage, because I am the God. Krishna will say later that because I am telling you, I control all of this, and therefore you can now act and go back home, back to Godhead, exit from this cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death, and go to the eternal life, which is Vaikuntha. In this case, Vaikuntha means, Vai means no, Kuntha means misery. That's a place where there is no misery, right? That's called Vaikuntha. All right. Is
So
that okay, Mataji?
in short, it is like if we do the work and surrender everything to Krishna, then we will be free from these problems.
Correct. That's a formula. And it will be getting repeated more and more clarified. Krishna is going to clarify. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Okay, next one. Who wants to read this one? 52.
Can I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Anujama.
यदा ते मोहकलीलं बुद्धिवर्तित ऋष्यति तदा गन्तासि निर्वेदं श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च. Translation: when your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of illusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. There are many good examples in the life of the great devotees of the Lord, of those who become indifferent to the ritual of the Vedas simply by devotional service to the Lord. When a person factually understands Krishna and his relationship with Krishna, he naturally becomes completely indifferent to the ritual of fruitive activities, even though an experienced Brahma, Sri Madhvendra Puri, a great devotee and acharya in the line of the devotees, say,
You can skip Sanskrit. You can go Mataji
okay,
translation.
oh my prayer, there time a day, all glory to you, O Bathing, I offer my obeisance unto you, O demigods, O forefather, please excuse me for my inability to offer you my respect now. Whenever I sit, I can remember the great descendant of the Yadu dynasty, Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa, and thereby I can free myself from all the sinful bondage. I think this is sufficient for me. The Vedic rites and ritual are imperative for neopathies, comprehending all kinds of prayer 3 times a day, taking a bath early in the morning, offering respect to the forefather, etc. But when one is fully in Krishna consciousness and is engaged in his transcendental loving service, one becomes indifferent to all these regulative principles because he has already attained perfection. If no one reach the platform of understanding by service to the Supreme Lord Krishna, he has no longer to execute different type of penance and sacrifices as recommended in reverent scriptures. And similarly, if one has not understood that the purpose of the Vedas is to reach Krishna and simply engaged in the ritual, etc., then he is uselessly wasting time in such engagement. Persons in Krishna consciousness transcend the limit of Shabda Brahma or the range of the Vedas and Upanishads. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So there is a lot of new things for you guys, I know. But have patience. It will all get clarified. This chapter 2 is a summary of Bhagavad Gita. After chapter 2, there are 16 chapters, and each chapter will elaborate on all of these points. Okay. So never don't feel that a lot of things, even if it's just you're listening, you don't know a lot of meaning of all of this. But the point, the summary is that if our intelligence is clear of these delusions, right? That what is good, what is bad, we know exactly, right? Then it become easy to work. And then if you can work with a clear mindset in a way as recommended by Krishna, then you can easily get out of this cycle of birth and death. Okay. All right. Next one who wants to read 53.
Myself, Guruji.
Yes, Virji. Please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
श्रुति विप्रातिपन्नान ते यदा सत्स्ययति निष्काला समाद्व अकाला बुद्धिश ताड़ा योगम अवापास्यम. Translation: when your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of Vedas, and when it remains fixed in the trance of self-realization, then you will have attained the divine consciousness. Purport: to say that one is samadhi is to say that one has fully realized Krishna consequences. That is, one in full samadhi has realized Brahma, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. The highest perfection to self-realization is to understand that one is eternally the servitor of Krishna, and the one only business is to discharge one duty is Krishna consequences. A Krishna conscious person or unflinching devotee of the Lord should not be disturbed by the flowery language of Vedas, nor be engaged in fruitive activities for promotion of heavenly kingdom. In Krishna consequences, one come directly into the communion with Krishna, and thus all the direction from Krishna may be understood in that transcendental state. One is too sure to achieve result by such activity and attain conclusion knowledge. One has only to carry out the order of Krishna or his representative, the spiritual master.
Thank you, Virji. Yes. So generally, there in Vedas, we touched in last sessions. There are so many Vedas, and Vedas, Vedangas, Upanishads, and there are so much recommendation. How much we can follow? We don't have even time to study those, right? But the Bhagavad Gita is a summary study. Is summary because all the Vedas are given by the God, and the God here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is explaining the summary personally. What is the summary of all of that, right? And he's saying, don't be disturbed by the Vedas. Some Vedas say, oh, you can go to heaven. Some Vedas say you can be powerful. Some Vedas say you can be living long. But he's saying, don't be disturbed. Become fixed in trance of self-realization. And what is self-realization? If some of you were in earlier sessions, remember, self-realization means what? Who wants to say? What is self-realization? I
To
think in this,
understand that we are a soul and have a
yes,
target function.
yes. So that's a correct point. That to know self, like who I am, who I am, right? The first question, Athato Brahma Jigyasha, right? Who I am. So for your answer, Vedas gives you, you are a soul. You are a spiritual soul. Krishna said in the beginning of this chapter, you are everyone is a soul, atomic soul. And then second realization point is coming, right? So you should realize what? About whom? So you knew that you are a soul, then what is your function? What is your relationship? Then the second answer is, oh, your relationship with the God, because the God created you. So you have a relationship with God, but then what kind of relationship? Right? Realization means you experience it. You kind of realize, internalize it, right? So that's exploration. That's a devotion service. You explore your relationship with Krishna, right? And that's what Krishna is saying, that you need to do that, right? So don't get into Vedas because you will get confused. There's so many purpose in the Vedas, right? But the Krishna is making our life easy. Okay, Arjuna, have any next question? And you may also have the same question. That okay, if I become something like that, then how I would be living, right? So next verse, sloka. Do you, what are everyone thinks? Should we read this one or we should stop here? Because I know a lot of mothers, they want to cook, they want to go, especially from India. They have to start their day or plan for the office. So, what is a vote?
A
Read
small
this one.
shloka, okay. Okay for me.
Okay, what about others? Mataji or anyone? Everyone is ready? Last one?
Would you read
Yes,
this
last
one?
one. We can continue.
Okay. Okay, who wants to do this one? 54.
Yeah, I will read.
Ramachandra. Okay, thank you. Go ahead. Can you hear me? I can't hear you, Ramchandra.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Like my screen is going away.
Okay. Can you see my screen? No. I can't hear you. Okay. Anybody else want to try?
Can I, Prabhuji?
Okay. Yeah.
अर्जुन उवाच स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्तस्य केशव स्थितिदिधि किं प्रभाषेत किमासित वर्जेत किम. Translation. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose conscience is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak and what is his language? How does he sit and how does he walk? Purport. As there are synonyms for each and every man in terms of his particular situation, similarly, one who is Krishna conscious has his particular nature, talking, walking, thinking, feeling, etc. As a rich man has his symptoms by which he is knows as a rich man, as a deceased man has his symptoms by which he is known as deceased, or as a learned man has his symptoms. So a man is transcendental consequence of Krishna has specific symptoms in various dealings. One can know his specific symptoms from the Bhagavad Gita. Most important is how the man in Krishna consciousness speak. For speech is the most important quality of any man. It is said that a fool is undiscovered as long as he does not speak, and certainly a well dressed fool cannot be identified unless he speaks. But as soon as he speaks, he reveals himself at once. The immediate symptoms of a Krishna conscious man is that he speaks only of Krishna and of matter relating to him. Other symptoms then automatically follow as I started below. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So that's where we're living. Now you learn this is do this, they act like this, become this. The next question, how do you know who is what, right? So that's Arjuna is asking Krishna that what are the symptoms of such a person? How does he speak? How do you walk? How do you sit? How do you so that we can identify in ourselves how much we have, right? Okay. So with that, any questions, comments? If anybody has to, I was saying that if you have to leave, you can leave. You don't have to wait at the end. Okay. Any questions, comments? Any questions? No? Everything clear? Okay. No problem. So you can keep your questions and you learn a couple of things. I can just to summarize that, you learned what is the definition of a problem. I was very happy when the first time I heard this in Prabhupada explained like problem is something nobody wants, everybody gets. And then he explained these are the 4 problems in life: birth, old age, disease, and death. Then we should become serious about, especially the death, right? And then we don't become a miser, because this human form of body is more than your job, family, your personal. Right now, the problems, these are temporary, it will go away. It has gone away, it will go away, it will come, go. Problems will come and go. But focus on your ultimate exam, right? All right, so with that, we'll end here. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll continue Saturday, understanding from Bhagavad Gita, learning from Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. All right, so we'll pray, do 1 minute prayer, and then everyone can, all of us will exit. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभस्य च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णव्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. And now all of you can say together, unmute everyone. Don't become muted. Krishna just said, don't stay muted, otherwise you will be undiscovered. ... Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you
Hare
everyone
Krishna.
for joining.
Hare Krishna Prabhu ji, Dandavat Pranam.
Krishna Prabhu
धन्यवाद
ji.
सभी लोगों को प्रणाम.
Hare
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्णा.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.